So, why exactly is this considered the CIA's most powerful surveillance weapon to date? Well, it has the ability to track and lock on the single heartbeat of one person, friend, or foe from 40 miles away. On April 2026, this concept became a reality. With this classified tech, US forces didn't even need a radio signal. They could locate a single man hidden in a cave from 40 miles out just by zeroing in on his heartbeat. Our 3D animators created a simplified model of this overclocked system to show how it works. It uses engineered synthetic diamonds to create a long-range quantum sensor. Strapped to a helicopter, it can detect the tiny electromagnetic pulse of a beating heart from miles away. So why use this specific technology to find the missing weapons system officer instead of the usual tech? Well, it is because infrared cameras and satellites are completely useless when your target is buried deep inside a mountain. In short, the CIA can now track your actual heartbeat. If you're a friend, this tech could be the lifeline that brings you home. But if you're the enemy, not even the caves or the desert can hide you anymore. How the US deployed the CIA's secret weapon. In early April 2026, the CIA pulled the curtain back on a terrifyingly advanced piece of technology. The mission: to rescue a downed F-15 East Strike Eagle weapons systems officer, known to the public only as Dude 44 Bravo. To find him, the US military mounted highly classified heartbeat scanning technology onto Black Hawk helicopters and HC-130J Combat Kings to sweep the battlefield. Developed by Lockheed Martin's legendary Skunk Works, the system is officially based on quantum magnetometry. But in the field, it goes by a much cooler name, Ghost Murmur. This secret weapon allowed US forces to find a man hiding in a cave from up to 40 miles away, simply by listening to his heartbeat. The implications are staggering. Imagine you're an enemy combatant or a fugitive hiding deep in the desert. With one sweep, this technology can pinpoint your exact location, even through solid rock. So how exactly does it work? To understand Ghost Murmur, you have to look at the physics of the human body. Every single time your heart beats, your muscles depolarize, generating a faint electromagnetic field. Normally, a doctor has to place sensors directly onto your bare chest just to read it. Ghost Murmur takes that concept and scales it up to a battlefield level using long-range quantum magnetometry. The core of the system relies on microscopic, engineered defects inside synthetic diamonds known as metrogen vacancy centers. At the quantum level, these defects are hypersensitive to even the smallest fluctuations in magnetic fields. When mounted on a helicopter, these quantum sensors cast a massive, invisible net over the landscape, registering the microscopic electromagnetic footprint of a human heart from miles away. But there is a catch. A quantum sensor is almost too good. It absorbs everything. A modern battlefield is flooded with electromagnetic noise. The Earth's natural magnetic fields, solar radiation, enemy radar, and radio chatter. If you look at the raw data, it's just pure static. To actually find the pilot, Ghost Murmur relies on a heavy-duty artificial intelligence processing engine. This AI is trained to do exactly one thing: recognize the precise clinical rhythm of a human heart, the murmur. It acts as an aggressive filter, discarding mountains of background interference to isolate that single repeating signal. As one source familiar with the program put it, it's like trying to hear a single whisper in a packed stadium, except the stadium is 1,000 square miles of desert. When Dude 44 Bravo went down, he spent roughly 36 hours in hiding. You might be wondering, why not just use satellites to capture his heat signature? The answer is simple. If he's hiding deep inside a cave system, traditional cameras and thermal trackers cannot penetrate those hardened structures. So this is the perfect time to use the Ghost Murmurs in the southern Iranian desert, provided the perfect testing ground for this new tech. It's a low-clutter environment with almost zero electromagnetic interference and very few competing human biological signatures. Ghost Murmur is also entirely passive. It doesn't broadcast a signal, it simply reads the environment. The downed airman didn't have to break cover or risk radioing for help. As long as his heart was beating, he was a beacon on a CIA monitor. When the sun set and the desert temperature plummeted, search and rescue teams paired this quantum heartbeat detection with traditional thermal imaging. They locked onto his exact position, cross-referenced the data, and sent in the recovery team. The name of his program is deliberate: Murmur for the clinical rhythm of the heart, Ghost for locating an asset that had effectively disappeared. During the rescue, a lot of people were asking, why would the US willingly destroy a $200 million plane? Well, the destruction of that C-130 in the Iranian desert is a stark reminder of just how unforgiving modern special operations can be. The Ghost Murmur hardware and the highly classified CIA tech packed inside these aircraft are so advanced and so vital to national security that the planes themselves become completely expendable. To the US military, deliberately burning hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment isn't a failure. It's a necessary sacrifice to keep American secrets in the dark, deny the enemy a massive technological windfall, and most importantly, bring American personnel home alive. Now you might be asking, why did the weapons system officer not just use a radio or a coded signal to broadcast his location? The reality is that Iranian signals intelligence is much more sophisticated than most people realize. They have dedicated units specifically designed to hunt and track continuous broadcasts. When their F-15 was shot down by a surface-to-air missile, both crew members managed to eject, but the weapons system officer was injured in the process. His immediate objective? Get to higher ground. Despite his injuries, he hiked over 2 miles and scaled a 7,000-foot ridge line. While dodging capture, he managed to trigger his emergency beacon, pinging US forces so they could begin tracking his location. But he couldn't just stay on the radio. His communication had to be sporadic if he transmitted too often. The IRGC's signals intelligence teams who were actively hunting his frequency would pinpoint his exact coordinates. In a hostile evasion scenario, a standard rescue beacon or a coded message isn't a lifeline. It's a homing beacon for the enemy. And that is exactly why the Ghost Murmur is the perfect tool for tracking a soldier behind enemy lines. To buy the downed officer time, the CIA launched a massive disinformation campaign inside Iran. They started leaking rumors that US forces had already found the WSO and were attempting to smuggle him out on the ground. It worked perfectly. This phantom ground exfiltration successfully diverted Iranian military resources and attention completely away from the actual extraction site. If you're looking to upgrade your digital defense system, you need to check out this military-grade VPN. Think of Surfshark VPN as your frontline defense. It scans and detects threats, alerting you to thousands of dangerous emails. Beyond that, it includes a robust antivirus software to shield your devices from viruses, malware, and tracking by ads, bots, or third parties. Finally, with Surfshark VPN, a single subscription covers not just you, but also your friends or even your entire city if you wanted. Go to our link surfshark.com/AITele. By buying through the promo link, you will get 4 extra months free, assured by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Despite the odds, U.S. Special Forces successfully in helicopters navigated the jagged landscape below radar level and reached their objective, establishing a defensive perimeter around the wounded WSO. But time was up. Just as they prepared to grab him and get out, the horizon started moving. IRGC ground forces, popular mobilization units, and local militias were rapidly converging on their exact location. What happened next was an absolute slugfest. A massive hours-long firefight erupted right in the middle of the day. Look at this ridge. They were surrounded, taking fire from all sides. U.S. operators laid down a withering wall of suppressive fire. The commandos locked down a 360-degree defensive perimeter, guns up, air cover overhead, designed to annihilate any IRGC element that stepped within range. But it was the loitering U.S. aircraft overhead that truly tipped the scales. To keep the extraction corridor from collapsing, American air power continuously hammered the advancing Iranian units. Assets like the A-10 Thunderbolt rained hellfire down on them. The sheer volume of close air support from the A-10s, Little Birds, and Black Hawks pounded the surrounding Iranian positions, taking a heavy toll and resulting in reported casualties across areas like Qusayr and Kakan. That air support bought the ground teams the one thing they needed most: seconds. But one of the most dangerous electronic warfare comes from the disc-shaped objects attached to this Black Hawk helicopter. While the Pentagon hasn't officially disclosed the specific hardware, military experts often call this a soft kill system. So how does it actually work? To understand the weapon, you first have to look at what it did. The most likely candidate for a weapon that creates that kind of internal pressure without external sound is a high-power microwave device. It relies on something called the Frey effect. The weapon, probably carried by a Chinook or a Black Hawk helicopter, fires a focused beam of pulsed microwave energy, not sound waves, that passes right through the skull. These beams are absorbed by the water in the brain tissue and the fluid in the inner ear. This energy causes a minuscule rapid heating of the tissue, less than 1 degree Celsius. but that tiny sudden expansion generates a pressure wave inside the skull. The consequence? The target hears a sound, clicks, buzzing, or a roar that originates inside their own head, bypassing the eardrums entirely. If the frequency is tuned to the resonance of the inner ear, it violently disrupts the body's balance, causing immediate vertigo. At higher power levels, that rapid tissue expansion can rupture capillaries, leading to the reported nosebleeds and internal trauma. There is another possibility, a weaponized infrasonic pulse emitter. Instead of a continuous beam, this device would fire high-intensity slugs of low-frequency air pressure below 20 Hz. These waves travel through the body and match the resonant frequency of internal organs like the stomach or lungs. High-intensity infrasound can actually cause cavitation, the formation of bubbles in bodily fluids. When those bubbles collapse, they create tiny shock waves that damage tissue. The target feels an intense vibration in their gut, leading to severe nausea and effectively paralyzing them with pain and sickness. Tactically, the reports suggest U.S. forces use this technology as the ultimate force multiplier. The result was that the hundreds of Venezuelan guards mentioned in the reports weren't fought in a traditional gun battle. They were incapacitated, sick, dizzy, and bleeding, long before U.S. troops made contact. This allowed a small team of approximately 20 operators to walk virtually unopposed through a much larger force. We make original videos from scratch and animated by humans, so please subscribe to not miss a beat.